Once you leave America, you ain't never going back.
But I wanted to send my daughter to school safely with the peace of knowing that I would be able to pick her up at the end of the day.
California's population just grew for the third year in a row. So why is it still losing more people to other states than almost anywhere else in America? What 5 states have recently been among the biggest domestic outmigration states? California, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Massachusetts. Most people blame taxes. That's part of it. It's not the full story. Why Texas and Florida were supposed to be the escape plan, both are still growing. But mover surveys show far less one-sided inflow into either state than during the pandemic boom, and that's a directional signal, not a full population count. Something changed. Stick around and you'll see why. State 1, California. A family near Sacramento opens their insurance renewal. The price jumped hard. In wildfire risk counties like theirs, insurers have been reducing exposure or pulling out of new policies. The state's FAIR plan, the backup for high-risk homes, can be more limited than standard coverage and is often a last resort. That can make a house harder to insure and harder to sell. Here's the twist people miss. California's population is actually still growing for the third year running, according to the state's own numbers. But that growth comes from new births and new immigrants. On the domestic side, more people have left for other states than arrived in most years since 2000. Recent census-based estimates put that loss at about 240,000 in the latest year measured, even as the total population kept creeping upward. Take the newcomers out of the picture and California would be shrinking outright. San Francisco shows it well. Tech workers used to flood in. Since the pandemic, remote work has let many of them leave for cheaper metro areas instead. Flood risk areas are seeing something similar nationwide. Recent reporting has found some outflow from high flood risk zip codes, suggesting climate risk is now shaping move decisions, not just weather headlines. 10 years ago, people worried about losing their house to fire. Now they worry about losing the ability to insure it at all. That's a different kind of fear. It moves faster. Home prices in many California markets have stayed high too, even with people leaving. So residents aren't just facing higher taxes. In some areas, they're facing higher insurance, high home prices, and fewer buyers willing to take on the risk. Each piece adds up, pushing people out faster than any single cause could on its own. Insurance companies aren't villains here. They're just following the risk. Wildfires are getting worse, payouts are getting bigger, and in some high-risk counties, that's already showing up as canceled policies. State 2, New York. Here's a number that should worry Albany: 58%. That's the share of 2025 New York moves that United Van Lines' National Movers Study tracked as outbound, not inbound. It's not a full census count, but it's a strong signal. Picture an analyst on the Upper West Side. Her firm dropped its office 2 years ago. She doesn't need Manhattan rent anymore. So she moves to Tampa. Same job, same pay, lower taxes. People like her matter more than the headcount suggests. Outmigration tends to hit high earners hardest, and that matters because they contribute a large share of state tax revenue. Every high earner who leaves takes a chunk of the tax base with them. This isn't a repeat of 2020's panic exodus. That wave was fast and reactive. This one built up slowly, one spreadsheet at a time, as rents and subway fares kept rising, and none of it felt worth it once the job stopped requiring it. Some of these movers still keep a New York client list. They just don't keep a New York address. Whether their income still gets taxed by the state depends on residency rules, which get complicated fast. But the pattern is clear either way. Fewer high earners filing as New York residents each year. New York still has huge advantages. Culture, connections, opportunity. That's not going away. But those things used to be worth any price. Now people are asking what the price actually is, and a lot of them don't like the answer. State 3, New Jersey. A retired teacher in Bergen County opens her property tax bill, $12,000, on a house she paid off years ago. She calls her son in Charlotte that same day. New Jersey consistently ranks first nationally for property taxes. Its effective rate runs around 2.2% of home value, per recent Tax Foundation data. the highest of any state. Retirees on fixed incomes feel it hardest. Their income doesn't grow. Their tax bill does almost every year. But here's the twist. New Jersey isn't dying. In some commuter towns, younger working-age households keep moving in, drawn by a New York-adjacent paycheck without New York rent. So in parts of the state, older established households are leaving while younger ones arrive. That can look like growth today and like a problem in 10 years, once those younger arrivals start earning more, paying more, and the same towns feel expensive again. New Jersey also sits next to two of the most expensive cities in the country. That used to be a selling point. Now residents can see up close exactly what an unaffordable state looks like before it happens to them too. Property tax pressure in New Jersey stays high, and many local budgets are boxed in by service demands and debt they already owe. So the bill keeps climbing, and every year a few more residents decide it's finally time to go. State 4, Illinois. Illinois has had more than a decade of net domestic outflow and population decline, according to census-based estimates. A couple in a Chicago suburb gets 2 job offers, one local, one in Indianapolis, same salary. They run the numbers: state tax, property tax, a pension crisis that keeps pushing bills higher. Indianapolis wins easily. Ask people why they left Illinois, and the answers split 3 ways: family, jobs, retirement. But all 3 come back to the same math. A dollar goes further 2 states over. It's rarely one big bill that pushes someone out. It's small increases stacking up year after year until the total finally tips the scale. Chicago and Illinois pension obligations keep pressuring budgets and taxes, and that pressure tends to land on whoever's still paying property tax bills. Illinois still has strong hospitals, good schools, and real job markets. The problem is a bill that keeps climbing no matter who's in charge, and a lot of families are done waiting for it to level off. Every year, Illinois loses residents. The tax burden on the ones who stay gets heavier. That makes the next round of departures more likely. It's a cycle, and nothing is breaking it. 4 states down. 4 families told the same tax story, but none of them told the real one. That story is about to show up in the last state on this list. If people were still just chasing sunshine, Texas and Florida would be pulling further ahead of everyone else. Instead, both are still growing, but mover surveys show far less one-sided inflow than during the pandemic boom. Remote work weakened the old requirement to live near your paycheck. Once that changed, every state's hidden cost got exposed. Some states are still growing fast, and not always the ones you'd guess. States like Idaho and Utah have continued posting strong gains. People aren't just chasing palm trees anymore. A lot of them are chasing lower bills, wherever those bills happen to be lowest. State 5, Massachusetts. Massachusetts isn't losing who you'd expect. A tech executive outside Boston sells her house at the peak. She moves 40 minutes north to New Hampshire, 0 income tax, no more commute because she doesn't have one anymore. She's not struggling. She's choosing to keep her money instead of handing it over, and she's not alone. A Pioneer Institute analysis found that roughly 70% of Massachusetts' AGI loss in 2023 came from taxpayers earning $200,000 or more. Experts disagree on the exact cause. Some blame taxes directly, others point to housing and childcare costs stacking up. But many analysts agree that high earners make up a disproportionate share of who's leaving, and a budget built on their taxes doesn't hold up well when they go. A few departures barely show up in a state budget. A steady stream of them does. Those households weren't just paying more, they were carrying a bigger share of the load for everyone else. New Hampshire didn't do anything fancy to win her over. It has no broad-based wage income tax, and for high earners like her, that alone can be enough to tip the decision. Massachusetts still leads in biotech and universities. That won't change overnight. But leadership in an industry doesn't pay a state's bills. Tax revenue does, and it's walking out the door 40 minutes at a time. 5 states, one big shared factor. Remote work weakened the need to live near the office, changing the calculation alongside taxes, housing, insurance, and family reasons. Once staying near a paycheck stopped being required, leaving stopped feeling risky, it started looking like simple math. That family near Sacramento already signed a lease somewhere else.